welcome back to the Sticks Plus Twine podcast. Today is Saturday. It's the last Saturday before Christmas. This is episode 4. Thank you so much for coming back if you have watched before. And if this is your first time, thanks so much for joining. My name is Eric. I'm in Toronto in Canada. And I am e.p.lutz on Instagram and eplutz on Ravelry. We have a Ravelry group as well if you'd like to join. We've got a few good conversations already started, which is kind of great. I'm really pleased about that. And it's Sticks Plus Twine. You can just search for it and you'll find it. So thanks to everyone for subscribing again. I'm kind of overwhelmed by the response and how much people seem to be enjoying a perspective that's maybe a little bit different. It's not that different, really, truly. There's other people who are talking about the same sort of things that I am, obviously, because, I mean, it's knitting, right? But I'm having a lot of fun, really enjoying it, and I love hearing from you guys. So I have a lot to talk about, but I'm going to try and keep this one kind of short. I've got, like most of you, I probably have 1,000 things to do today, and I still have work to finish. It's been a bit of a week, but I'll talk to that just sort of near the end. So I just wanted to talk a little bit first about some new podcasts that are kind of more new to me, that have come to my attention just from comments people have made on the Ravelry group or sent me messages or feedback on the YouTube channel, which is great. And I just wanted to talk about, I started watching Diary of a Yarn Snob with Way Cool Jules. Oh my God, she's awesome. She's so down to earth. I really, really like her just the way that she approaches things. She's like, oh, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. It happens. And not being too afraid to ask for help, which is kind of cool. I like that. I appreciate that. I was also put on to Sockmatician, Nathan. And I had heard of him before, but I hadn't really had a chance to catch up. There's so many things to watch. And so I started watching today, the latest episode. And I love the fact that he's on a very similar mission, which is, helping get more men involved in the world of knitting, which I kind of love. I also wanted to say that if you haven't watched Knitting Expat, Mina, you should, especially the latest episode she posted with some of her footage from her time in Iceland. That was really, really cool. I know so many people have been recently that I really, really think that that's a place that I would like to add to my list of places to go, but I certainly don't want to go in the winter. That just looks a bit too much. And finally, I wanted to say a big shout out to Kemper of Junk Yarn Podcast for sort of making a statement that I thought was a bit interesting and I really appreciated, which was talking about making more gender neutral designs, things that are maybe a bit more accessible to both men and women. Because I really, really, really wanted to start finding more patterns and more interesting things to do. And I would think as designers build that kind of audience share, that would be kind of a nice thing to see. So thank you, Kemper, for doing that. So I just wanted to say a few things. We had a bit of a poll going on in the Ravelry group, talking about what should the context of the New Year knit along that we're hosting in the who am I talking about? It's me. For December 31st, Jan 1, New Year cast on. And the winning idea from the poll is that we're going to do men's accessories, which is great. So the idea is that you knit some men's accessories. There's no real rules, rhymes, or reason to it. I like the idea of just getting more focus on knitting things for the men in our lives, which is kind of cool. So cast on December 31st or January 1st and just take it from there. I mean, it's closing at the end of the month, which is, I think, a good amount of time for a knit along that's for accessories, which is great. I will be casting on. I've got one thing for sure that I know I'm going to talk about a little bit later in acquisitions that I've already acquired the yarn for. So that'll be fun. I do have another one that I'm thinking about doing for February for Valentine's Day for a cast on. That one's going to be a little bit bigger, and the prizes, of course, are going to be bigger for that one. So that'll be cool. Also wanted to talk about Vogue Knitting Live. So Jenny and I have agreed that we're going to be meeting in New York in the Times Square area. We're going to be meeting at 5:30 on Saturday, January 16th. The location, we're still trying to figure out how many people are actually going to be coming, and that will determine the venue. But what's interesting, I think, is that it'll be the first time Jenny and I have actually met in person, and I'm kind of hoping that we'll get a chance to talk and meet some of you there, which would be kind of nice to do. But Jenny's got a thread in her Ravelry group for Tiny Paper Foxes, and she'll be announcing the venue there as well. And we've also set up an event in the Sticks Plus Twine. So let us know if you RSVP. We'll know how many people to expect, and we'll announce the venue a little bit closer to it. So, page 1 of notes done. I also have something other exciting news that I can't really talk about yet because it's still a work in progress. But there's going to be potential for a collaboration that I'm going to be working with a company that I'm really excited to start reviewing. They're sending me some product to take a look at, which I'm really excited about. They're really open to working something different. So stay tuned. I just want to put that little teaser out there. So what's on the needles? Not much. I finished a few things, but not much is left on the needles. I have in my new, this is an acquisition, I guess, but this is from Adelaide Cottage. This is, I'm hoping that'll focus. I'll just sort of hope that'll sit there. This is a new bag that I ordered from Etsy, from Adelaide Cottage, from their Etsy store. And it's a really cute project bag. It's got a cool little teacup progress keeper. I'll put a picture somewhere over here that'll sort of show that maybe a little bit closer. And in this is my Wool Gathering Podcast Christmas sock, which has not seen much action. And you'll see why when you see the FO. So I'm about another inch away from starting the toe decrease. I'm knitting these on my carbons. These are the, I think they're, I want to say, I don't remember what the length is. It's not really that important, I guess, really. But I love these. These are US 2.75 millimeter needles. And I've got my progress keeper, which I should really update where that goes when I start knitting on it again. But I'm going to try and get this finished probably over the next day or so I can get the second sock on because I really want to wear these at Christmas. Again, this is part of the knit along from Wool Gathering Podcast, and it's the Christmas sock knit along. So I love how the Madeline Tosh sock is feeling. It's feeling really nice. I can't wait to wear them. I do think that the cast on, this is 72 stitch cast on. I think it's a little too big. So when I start my next pair of socks, I think I'm going to go down a couple of stitches, which shouldn't be a big deal. But it's just a standard vanilla sock. I haven't done anything interesting. There's really nothing new and innovative on it. I just wanted a nice pair of just nice socks to wear for Christmas. So that is in that bag. So that's on the needles. That's it. That's all I got right now. I am planning on casting on tomorrow the Harmony cloche. And I'll put a link in the show notes to the pattern. It's a paid pattern. I can't even remember where I got it from, but I know it's on Ravelry. That is for a client of mine for her daughter. I've been meaning to get back to it. I've knit this hat. I finished one. I knit one and realized I made a pretty significant mistake, and there was no real way of fixing it, so I frogged it. I'm going to start again. Not a big deal. It knits pretty quickly, but I want to try and get it done so I can get it to her for before Christmas. And then I have to finish the second sock for my mother-in-law for the Simple House socks. I'm seeing a lot of resurgence, a lot of action around the sort of idea of the Simple House sock from Temple of Knit. And I love it. It's super simple. It's super cool. It knits up super fast, especially if you use something that's a little bit of a chunkier weight. What did I use on it? I think it actually is a chunky, but it's really, really cushy and yummy. And I showed that in one of the previous podcasts. So, because I have nothing really on the needles, what else do I have? Well, I have all kinds of finished objects. I have 3 that I'll show you today. One is a spoiler, so I'll save that to last and I'll give you lots of heads up just in case. I finished the Handbrake cowl, which was, the pattern was gifted to me by Inez. I believe she's Nezzy Knits on Ravelry. Thank you so much. I love this. It's super simple. It's really nice. It's Kay Jones design. I made one sort of error that I think I talked about last week as well, where I put an extra, instead of sort of doing a proper garter stitch border. Sorry, take a sip of tea. Ooh, I have a teacup too. Oh, that's good. Um, in acquisitions, I'll talk about that. Sorry about the banging on the glass table, but I forgot to put something down under it. So I put in an extra row of stockinette in between. But you know what? I actually don't mind it. It's kind of a cool little detail. So I mirrored it on the other side as well, so they match. So I blocked this out. This is in Sweet Georgia, 100% merino superwash, worsted weight in the pumpkin colorway. I have had so many compliments on this already. What I like about it is that I don't really like things like scarves that are too tight around the neck, but what I do like is that it keeps the back of my neck warm, which I like. And it's easy to fold up, and I can sort of put it under my pea coat, and I love it. I love the color. But of course, since I made that, my partner would like one. So we'll talk about that in acquisitions. So that's the handbrake cowl, which I am in love with. Second is I've had some requests, and I'm sorry the last time I forgot to really talk to this one. I just put pictures at the end. This is the beast. This is folded 8 times up. So I'm going to do my best to try and show off at least the colors so you can see how big it is. But there's pictures on last week's podcast, and there's pictures in my project page as well. But you can see, you can't see me. It's huge, and it's very drapey because it's all in garter as well. But this is all out of Madeline Tosh. Hi again, Madeline Tosh Superwash. This is Tosh DK, and again, it uses 5 different colors, and it's a really great. It's not really an ombre because ombre really refers to the same color just in a single color gradient. But it goes from whiskey barrel through to sea wash to Baltic through to morning dove and then finally through to fog. And I think that fog is probably my favorite color out of all of them. I love the whiskey barrel, but I love this color. I don't know how much you can see of that. I'll try, but it's going to get in my tea if I push it too far. So that is... You can see it's super cozy. It's super warm. It's thick. It's heavy. It sits on the back of our couch, which I really, really enjoy because I can just sort of pull it over. I can pull it over my shoulders when I get a bit chilly, and it's over there now. But I'm glad you sort of asked and reminded me to show that. So the last one, and this is your spoiler alert. This week, the past 7 days, Josh Ricks, who is sort of a knitter, has the Sort of a Knitter podcast, has done a mystery knit along, which I thought was super cool. And he was offering the pattern at half price for participants, which was nice. I'm not sure if he's planning on releasing the pattern to Ravelry. It may be already out, I'm not sure. But I know the last clue was released last night, I think. But I finished it this morning. I have not yet blocked it. I have not yet sewn in the ends, but I thought I'd show it. So big here, spoiler alert, stay away, don't look if you don't want to know. But here it is. Get this the right way round. It starts out, it's very fast knit. I had a little gauge issue down at the bottom, but it'll block out. It starts out really with a very cool sort of tiered approach to all of these. It's architecturally inspired, which is amazing. And it's actually called Spired. Spired? I hope it's Spired. Sorry, Josh, if I screwed that up. And then it uses this really interesting, I know he's used this technique before, of these German short rows, fondly known as slipios. And I actually really liked it. I thought, the Harmony Cowl does a lot of short row stuff for the flipped up brim on the cloche. And Harmony Cowl. See, I'm trying to rush because I got stuff to do, but I really wanted to talk to you guys first. So that was kind of an interesting thing. I'm going to use that, I think, when I do the cloche. But what I also really liked is this slit kind of color work pattern that ends up having this really cool texture. It's slightly lacy, so it's a little bit more open, I guess because of the slip stitch. But I really enjoyed knitting this. The colors, I posted on my Instagram a request for people to chime in, what color should I use, what colorway. I knew I wanted to do it in neutrals. And I really am glad I did it this way, where I've got sort of the natural plus the gray and the black. This is all in Cascade 220 in, I think it's natural charcoal and black. So just really straightforward. Nothing really fancy about the colors, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. I did have to go up a size on the cable for my interchangeables for it because it was just getting a bit too much. But that was probably just more about me and my gauge than it was about the pattern. But it was cool. It was fun. So I'm going to block that out tonight, let it dry, and then I'll probably show next week. I'll probably be wearing it when I podcast next. So that was fun. So that's the end of the FOs. So spoiler, you can look back again if you were averting your eyes, so you didn't want to see it if you're working on it. But I really liked it. I would suggest, Josh does a lot of knit-alongs and a lot of MCALs. And I kind of liked it. It was my first one with him, and I really enjoyed it. So I think he said he's going to be doing another one in January. So I'm looking forward to that too. Page 2 done. See, we're just powering through today. All right, acquisitions. Let's talk about this. This isn't a yarny thing, but this is the replacement teacup mug, I guess, really, that David's Tea sent me after the thumb injury, where this handle just snapped off when I was watching it. So if you watched a previous podcast, you know it kind of gave me a bit of a thumb injury, but I knit through it anyway. But it's perfectly healed. It's all gone. But they sent me a new cup, and I love it because it's navy blue and it has gold little holly berries and stuff on it. So it's kind of neat. And today's tea of choice is... Oh, that's really good. It's my new favorite for the season anyway, is called Sleigh Ride from David's Tea. It's kind of got berries and some spice and some fruit. It's got actual sticks of like cinnamon, little broken cinnamon sticks in it, and it's really lovely. I really highly recommend it. Sometimes if I let it brew little too long, I add just a little bit of German rock sugar just to take a bit of that extra sourness out. But oh, it's really good. So highly recommend that. You should try it. What else did I acquire? Well, I went shopping. So I missed today. I miscalculated. I thought it was tomorrow, but it turns out it is. Sorry, I thought it was today. It's actually tomorrow. One of my local yarn stores, the Purple Pearl in Leslieville in Toronto, is having a pre-Boxing Day sale tomorrow where everything's 20% off. I think it's all yarns are 20% off. I thought it was today. It's tomorrow. But I bought stuff anyway. So, remember that handbrake cowl that I said that my partner wants? Well, I bought yarn for it. This is, again, Sweet Georgia. Ta-da! Which I didn't realize. I guess maybe the name is a little bit misleading. I thought it, for whatever reason, I thought it was from Georgia, but it turns out it's not. It's from, it's hand-dyed in Canada, which is great. This is 100% superwash merino wool. This is the charcoal colorway. And it's not all completely consistent, which I like. This is what I love about their yarns, is that the color is the same, but the intensity of the color sort of varies, which I really like. So that is going to be another handbrake cowl. I asked Sebastian, my partner, this morning if he wanted one, and he said, yeah, he'd like one. So I said, well, if you want, it's really easy to make. I can show you how to make it if you're interested in learning how, because he kind of had started with me in the knitting and then gave up. And I think it was just because he got bored with the scarf he was making. So this knits up quick. I know he can do it, but if he doesn't really want to, then I'll do it, and we'll just call it a Christmas present or something like that. So that's that one. And then I just saw this skein of navy. If you haven't noticed, I love navy. It's my favorite color. And it's really hard to get a good true navy. But this one is actually called Navy from Shell Ridge Yarns, which is another Canadian yarn dyer. It's worsted weight. It's 100% merino, which is kind of cool. It's not quite as soft. It's a little more rustic, but I think it's because it's not superwash, which is kind of nice. It does say machine wash on gentle, lay flat to dry, but there's no way in heck that I'm putting this in the washer. I'll just hand wash, not a big deal. But I love the color. I don't know what quite this is going to be, but I feel like the wool pig is finally starting to subside a little bit. Thank you, wool pig, because I could have gone crazy in there. But I think knowing that tomorrow is another sale, I'm not planning on going back tomorrow to buy more. because I had something I really wanted. I was really looking for, they carry a huge selection of the turtle pearl sock yarn, the self-striping. And I was looking for one, I think it's called Not Your Mother's Sock Monkey, which I really wanted to get to make Sebastian a pair of socks, but they didn't have any in there. They had all kinds of other ones, which was amazing. But I'll probably just have to go on Etsy, onto their shop there, and just order it if they have any left. But if you have a lead in Toronto where there's another one, if anyone's got any stock, let me know. I'll pick it up. So that's that one. Then while I was at the Purple Pearl this morning, I asked them because I thought I wanted a pair of DPNs, a set of DPNs for doing socks. I was looking for carbons, and they didn't carry the carbons. But he said, you know what? Is there a reason why you love the carbons? I'm like, well, yeah, because they're awesome, but they're expensive and stuff. And I said the reason I like them is because they don't drop the stitches. There's a little more grab, a little more drag to them, so that's kind of cool. But what I am finding is that the join, oh, my heating just went on. That's lovely. I guess a little cold. It's actually been snowing today, which is crazy. So I'm not sure if this is going to be annoying or loud, but if you give me just a sec, I'm going to pop back. I'm going to turn it off because it doesn't really need to be on. It's warm enough in the house. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. The heat pump in the condo is literally like just over my shoulder, so I figured it would be a bit loud. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, needles. I'm holding them. Of course, we're talking about needles. So he said, well, if that's the thing, if you're looking for something that's a little more draggy, try the Hayahayas. These are not the Hayahaya Sharps. These are US 2.75 Hayahayas, but because they're not nickel coated, they're just stainless steel. They do have a bit more drag on them. So I'm going to try those. I'm going to use these for the Christmas Eve Little Bobbins Knits cast on for Christmas Eve socks. So I'm going to try those and see how we go with them. They weren't that expensive, but you know what? I'm going to try them. I'm still learning, finding out what I like, all that sort of stuff. Oh, I know what I was saying. The join between the needle and the carbons and the cable could be smoother. There's a little bit of it's like a notch that sometimes that last stitch when I'm doing magic loop just gets stuck on it. It's not a big deal, but I do kind of wish it was a little more fluid. So we'll see. We'll try these out. But I also made an order on Knit Picks this week. So I ordered, because I really like their needles, and so I ordered I really like the 2.75 millimeter needle for socks for me. Maybe it's because I'm a guy, I kind of like things that just feel a little bit more robust, a little less delicate. And I feel like if I went down to a US 1 or something, the difference is not huge, but I just feel like for me, I just don't have the tactile control, I guess, of something that's quite that delicate. So I have that coming from Knit Picks. It's another, I guess I keep getting confused between centimeters and inches, but is it a 40-inch needle that's coming? Probably. I also ordered a new ball winder from them because it was only like $20, so I figured that was pretty good. And I had heard, who was it that was talking? Oh, it was Danny from Little Bobbins Knits was talking about the Felici yarn for socks. So I took a look and thought, oh, it's actually not that expensive. It's a pretty good price. So I ordered a couple of skeins that I'll show on another podcast when it arrives. I think it's due to arrive on Tuesday. But the one I remembered is one of their sort of limited release reserve colorways called Baker Street, which just looks amazing. So those are going to be socks for me. The other two are kind of blue, self-striping kind of feeling. So I think, achievement unlocked. I'm good with socks. And I think I've got enough sock yarn now to last me a while. So once I get through those are just going to be my, watching TV. Don't have to think about it because I find when I'm following a pattern, if I'm watching TV or a movie, I sometimes just zoom right past where I'm supposed to stop or what the change is. So I kind of think I need something like that if I'm going to focus on something else and I just want to keep my hands busy just to not worry about it. So I'm going to do that. What else? We talked about the Sweet Georgia. We talked about the Hi. We talked about the project bag. What was really cute, when I got the Adelaide Cottage project bag, which is this one, ta-da, There were a couple of tea bags in it, which I thought was kind of cute. There was the peppermint and licorice from Paka, which I don't know if you guys have ever tried Aveda tea. Aveda, the skincare and hair care brand, that sort of stuff. They have sort of this calming tea that has like peppermint and licorice. And I really enjoyed that, so it reminded me of that. And there was also a pack of a sachet of the caramel chamomile yogi tea, which I had last night before bed, and I actually really enjoyed it. And I slept like a log. Could just be that I was exhausted because it's been a bit of a week, but it was really tasty. I enjoyed it. Talking about this week, I picked up a really quick assignment from a new to me client that needed this super fast turnaround on a project. So I've been really working a lot of hours this week on that. It's been a busy week for my business partner as well. We had a photo shoot happening, we had radio record happening. So we had a lot of stuff going on this week. But it was nice to be able to just come home. And like I've said before, knitting is just kind of my yoga. It de-stresses me, it calms me down, it focuses my attention on something other than work, which is kind of nice. But then we also had the condo Christmas party was this week, and I'm on the board of directors, so I had to be there, but I was exhausted when I got there. I probably wasn't as sociable as I would have liked to have been, but I mean, I enjoyed myself. The food was fantastic. The social community did a great job. It was lovely. It was nice to see everybody, but I had to go back to work. So it's okay. It happens, right? What else? I still have some work to do today. I did a little bit of shopping. I need to apologize to Jules, who is my swap partner for the Homemade House Christmas swap. I finally got your swap out today. I'm so sorry for the delay. Honestly, I've been working like crazy hours, so it's on its way. It may not make it before Christmas. I'm so sorry. But she and I had already connected and said, it was sort of a low-key delivery would probably be okay. So I'm sorry still again. I didn't mean to get it out quite so late. And the reason why today's sort of crazy is I'm meeting some friends to go and see The Force Awakens this afternoon. I've had tickets, I think, since the day they went on sale. We're going to see them in VIP, which is like great big cushy seats, and they do like table service and bar service. So we've got amazing seats to it. A couple of my friends that live in my building are coming. One of my best friends, Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne. I don't know if she's watching or not. I'm going to get her into knitting again too. She's allergic to wool, so we're going to have to just work with cotton. But there's actually a Force Awakens hat. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. So I've told her that I'll make it for her, but I need her to pick the yarn. I think she can do acrylic, which would be fine. I'd rather do acrylic than I would do cotton, but if she needs cotton or wants cotton, I'll do it in cotton. That's fine. I've never knit with cotton. If you have any tips on knitting with cotton, if it's any different, more unusual, whatever, anything I should know about, let me know. Comment here, send me a note on Ravelry, whatever. But I'd appreciate that. But it's a really cool pattern. I'm super excited to go see the movie. I can't wait. So I'm trying to get as much as I can get done before, so I can just go and open mind, clear conscience. I've avoided pretty much any kind of social media the last couple of days. I don't want spoilers. I know a number of people have already seen it. My business partner's seen it with her husband. Yvonne, who's going again with us today, has already seen it. She saw it yesterday. Unfortunately, Sebastian isn't going to be able to make it to see it. He's got to work today. He's at work now. So it's okay. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. And oh my gosh, I'm almost there. Almost done. So podcasting. Next week, I will likely podcast on the 24th. I was thinking about doing something maybe a little different. I was thinking about maybe doing a Periscope of of my Christmas Eve cast on for the socks. Not so much to show off my knitting prowess. That is not the point. But just for something, an interactive point. Most people are probably going to be off in the evening. Sebastian's not going to be home till, I think, 9 o'clock or so. I may go pick him up at the airport, but Christmas Eve is all day, right? So we're going to try and shut down on Wednesday until the new year for the agency. So I'll have some time. It would be fun. So I may do it. I may not. It may just be a podcast like usual. But I am planning on before Christmas to do that. Oh, look, there's a siren outside. Yeah, the fun joys of, living in the city. So I'm going to do that. And then I will likely do another podcast the week following before the new year. So we'll talk again before New Year. But if you don't get a chance, if you're traveling, if you're away, I hope you enjoy your knitting. I hope you get some cool, fun knitting done. I hope you spend some good, enjoyable time with your family. Try not to stress out. Try not to get too crazy busy. And I mean, it's hard. It's the season, but the more I think we can kind of just keep an open heart and open mind, the better off we'll all be. I know driving around this morning was a bit of a challenge, but I just said to myself, Eric, you're not like really, you're not saving lives. You're going to go to the post office and you're doing grocery shopping. You're not saving lives here. Let the people who are saving lives, like the sirens that are going on outside that I can hear, let them do their thing, and just take a deep breath. So here's to you. Happy holidays. If I don't talk to you again until you catch up with us on the next couple of podcasts, I hope you have a great time and Merry Christmas. Bye.